So the first question is, there is a figure given, PSR, RT, let's just see RTQ and PAQ. These three are three semicircles and their diameters are given respectively, that is 10 centimeter, 3 centimeter and 7 centimeter respectively. You have to find out the perimeter of the shaded region. You can see the figure. So this is the region, shaded region, and you have to find out the perimeter of the shaded region means this curve, this one and this. How will you find out? What is given? This much is given. See, diameter is given means the maximum thing, that is PSR is having 10 centimeters. So that you need the radius, or you can use, see, semicircle, this is semicircle. So what is the perimeter of the semicircle? What you will get? You have to get the perimeter of the shaded region. That means perimeter of this curve, perimeter of this and perimeter of this. You have to add all the three, right? So this much is 10. Now this much is 7 and this is 3. This is what given in the figure. So what we have to do is, first we have to find out the perimeter of, or you can say that the semicircle. Okay, circumference of the semicircle. Circumference of the circle is what? Is 2 pi r. So here you can use circumference of semicircle. So that will give you pi r, 2 pi r by 2. So it will be pi r. Okay, circumference of the semicircle is equal to pi r. So this is the concept which we are going to use here. So perimeter of one curve, that is PSR, plus perimeter of RTQ plus perimeter of PAQ. Now what will be the perimeter of PSR? PSR is having diameter of 10 centimeter. So the radius becomes 10 by 2. So this will give you pi into 10 by 2, or why I am writing like this is, for everything you will have that by 2. So that will be easy for you to calculate. Okay. The next thing will give you RTQ. For RTQ, what is that? 3. So that is diameter. So radius will be 3 by 2. So here you will get pi into 3 by 2. Plus the third one is PAQ and its diameter is 7 centimeter. So you will have radius as 7 by 2. So this will be the total perimeter, and how much you will get? Pi is common, you can just, denominator is same, you can just add the numerator. 10 plus 3 plus 7 will give you 20. So it is 20 by 2 pi or 10 pi. This is the perimeter and your unit is centimeters. 10 pi centimeters. Now what they have given is, you have to use 22 by 7 for pi. So that we will use 10 into 22 by 7. 22 by 7 will give you approximately value of 3.14 into 10 will give you 31.4 centimeters. Okay. Two spheres of same metal weight 1 kg and 7 kg are given. The radius of the smaller sphere is given as 3 centimeter and the two spheres are melted to form the single sphere. You have to find out the diameter of the new sphere. Okay, so first we have to find out the diameter of the other sphere also, because you have to, so that you can get the other one's diameter, or you can say radius also. So first thing we will take at, that is for the smaller sphere it is given, let R1 be the radius of the smaller sphere. So what is given? R1 is given to be, and what is the volume of the sphere? Since it is considered to be weight, we need to calculate the volume also, right? Volume is equal, mass is equal to volume into density. Right? So weight is given means you can use this concept, and the density will be same for both the things. So here you can use this weight as the mass, and from that you can calculate what is the volume or the other one's radius also. So R1 is given to be 3 centimeter. Now what is the mass of this sphere? Okay, mass of the smaller sphere will be same as volume into density. You have studied this. Mass is equal to volume into density, or volume is equal to mass by density. That we are using here. Okay, now what is given as mass? That is 1 kg. Okay, 1. Now since you know the radius, you can find out or what will be the volume of the sphere. 4 by 3 pi r cube. So here you will get 4 by 3 pi r is 3. So it is 3 cube, right, into density. So from here you will get the density, and that can be used to find out the radius of the other sphere. What will be the density? Therefore, density is equal to 1 by of this. One thing will get cancelled, and the thing which you will get as the remaining part. Here you are getting. Now what will be the density? It will be the reciprocal of this. This will come here, so you will get the reciprocal of this thing, that is 3 by 4 pi into 3 cube. This is the density, right? Now we have to find out the radius of the second sphere. You have two spheres here. The smaller ones we have found out the density. From that we have found out the density. Now we will go for the bigger one's radius. Or if r cube is, we can find out r cube, that is also enough. Okay. So the next thing is you have to find out the mass. You will start with mass of the second sphere or bigger sphere. What will be that? Again, mass is equal to volume into density, and this density can be used in that one because density will be same. Okay, volume of this sphere into the density. So you will get volume. This is 4 by 3 pi. We don't know this, right? Volume. And what is the mass? Mass is given to be 7 kg here for the second one. So we are just replacing here 7. And 4 by 3 pi. Let this be R2 cube. Let R2 be the radius of the second one. So that I can write here R2 cube into the density which you got. Density is 3 by 4 pi into 3 cube. Right? Now you can find out what is R2 cube. Right? R2 cube will help you to find out the diameter of the new, because when the spheres are melted, the volume of the new one will be same as the volume of the two, volume of the sum of the two, right? So here what you will get, what is R cube? 4 by 3, sorry, pi cancel, 4 cancel, then this 3 cancel, and here you will get 7 into 3 cube as R2 cube, right? So this is what, now I am not reducing this because so that it is helpful for the other thing, for taking that common and all. That's why I'm just writing like R2 cube as 7 into 3 cube. I'm not simplifying it. Okay. Now, this is your R2 cube. Now, what is the concept? For the new sphere, you can add, that is the volume of the bigger sphere, that is a new sphere, will be same as volume of the first one, that is smaller sphere, plus volume of the bigger sphere, right, or the second sphere. So now we are just adding the two. Volume of the first one plus volume of the second one will give you 4 by 3 pi. First one is 3 cube. So here you are getting 3 cube plus here you are getting 4 by 3 pi into 7 into 3 cube. Okay. So here it is 3 cube and here it is 7 into 3 cube for this next one. So here what you will get, 4 by 3 pi can be taken out and 3 cube also. So that this becomes 3 squares. Now it is 4 into 3 square pi into, here this is 1, this is 7. So you are getting 8 here. 3 can be cancelled here and 4 pi 3 square is common. You have taken out. And this will become 1. Here you would have nothing, that means 1 plus here it is 7. So that you are getting here 8. So in total what you are getting, 4 into 9 into 7 pi. Or, so here you have volume of the new sphere will be 4 by 3 pi r cube, and this pi can be cancelled. Again, you just simplify, you'll get r cube as. R cube will be what? 36 into 8 into 3 by 4. So that this can be cancelled, 9. So 9 into 8 into 3, or 27 into 8. Now why I am writing like this is, since it is r cube, I can find out r easily. Okay. That is, this is 3 into 2 the whole cube, right? That means r cube is giving you 3 into 2 or 6 the whole cube, means r will give you 6. You will get r as 6. That's why we are not simplifying or writing the perfect answer here after multiplication, so that it is easy to calculate the radius. Now since you got the radius, what is the question? You have to find out the, therefore diameter of the new sphere is equal to 6 into 2, which is 12 centimeters. Okay, question you have to find out x and y means cumulative frequency. This is given to be 28, means 15 plus x is 28. From that you will get what is x is equal to. X is equal to 13. Now y, this is y. Y means how you will get, see, this is the last term after adding these all. So this plus this will give you y, that is 43 plus 18 will give you y, or y is equal to 61. That's all. Okay. Values of A, B and C such that the numbers A, 10, B, C, 31 are in AP. So how will you do this? Second term means it is A plus D. So we just take the common difference as D. Let D be the common difference. Now since it is in AP, this common difference will help you to find out the next term. How? That is, first term is A, means A plus D, A plus 2D, A plus 3D, A plus 4D. Like this the term will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, these are in AP. So you can just compare. In place of that is a second term is written as A plus D is equal to 10, right? And these terms you don't have, and 31 is given, and this is the fifth term. Fifth term means A5. A5 is A plus 4D. So you'll get another equation containing A and D, which is A plus 4D equal to 31. Now you have to just use the elimination method and find out what is A and D, and then you can get all the values here. Okay, so subtracting these two will give you minus 3D is equal to minus, how much you will get? D is equal to 7. Therefore, which one you can find out? D is equal to 7 means you can find out A plus D is 10 means A is equal to 10 minus 7, which will give you 3. Now you know A and D, so that you can find out all the other terms. Therefore, A, that is here, this A is your first term, that is A3. Now B is what? It is A plus 2D. So it is A plus 2 into D is 7. A is again 3. Or else you can just add the terms, okay. With 10 you can add D, so that you will get the next term. Again plus D, 7, you will get the next term. Like that also you can do. So what are the values of B and C? B is equal to 17 and C is equal to, again you can add 7 to this term, will give you the next term, okay, which is 24. So the values are 3, 4, 17 and 24 for ABC respectively. All of you got? So alpha and beta are the zeros of the polynomial x square plus 4x plus 3. Since alpha and beta are the zeros of the polynomial x square plus 4x plus 3, what all we can get? Sum of the zeros and product of the zeros. Sum of the zeros is minus b by a, so that you will get minus 4 by 1, and alpha beta is c by a, which will give you 3 by 1 or 3. Okay, so these are the values which you are getting. Now you have to find out the polynomial whose zeros are these two. Means first you have to find out the product, sum and product, and after that you can use the formula, or you can say this is the way you will write x square minus sum of the zeros into x plus product of the zeros is equal to 0. So okay, this is polynomial, so no 0, this is much. If it is quadratic equation, you have to write it as equal to 0. Okay, now we will start with what is the sum. 1 plus beta by alpha plus 1 plus alpha by beta, which will give you, after this beta by alpha plus alpha by beta, take the LCM, you will get alpha beta in the denominator. This is 2 alpha beta plus beta square plus alpha square, right? Now here, this is a square plus b square plus 2ab form. So you can make it as alpha plus beta the whole square or beta plus alpha the whole square divided by alpha beta. Now alpha plus beta, you know, you can replace the value. Divided by alpha beta is 3. So you are getting 16 by 3 as the sum of the zeros. Now product of the zeros is equal to 1 plus beta by alpha into 1 plus alpha by beta. Take the product, 1 plus alpha by beta after multiplying with this plus beta by alpha plus beta by alpha into alpha by beta. So that will become 1 again. So 1 plus alpha by beta plus beta by alpha plus 1. That is again 2 plus the same thing. You just see it is same as this. Product is also giving you the same thing. So 2 plus alpha by beta plus beta by alpha, which you have already got the value as 16 by 3. So both the sum and the product have the same value, which is 16 by 3. Therefore, the polynomial is x square minus 16 by 3x plus 16 by 3, or else you can just take the LCM and write this is 3x square minus 16x plus 16. Okay, this is the polynomial. Find the coordinates of the point which divides the line segment joining A and B in 3 equal parts. Means of the points. Okay, this is A, this is B. Suppose this is P, Q. So you have to find out the coordinates of P and Q so that these are divided in equal parts by P and Q. This line segment. Okay, so A is given to be minus 4, 1 and B is 8, 7. So when we take this point P, P is dividing the total line segment A, B in the ratio 1:2. And when you consider Q, you can use two concepts. Either Q is a midpoint of PQ, or you can use the concept of dividing the ratio, that is dividing the line segment in the ratio 2:1. Okay, so that will give you the point Q. And you have to use the section formula for finding out the point P and Q. For the second one, you can use midpoint also. So let P divides the line segment AB in the ratio. It's not let actually. Let P and Q be the points. Which divides AB equally in 3 parts. Therefore, P divides a line segment AB in the ratio 1:2. And Q divides AB in the ratio 2:1. So you have to find out what is P using section formula. What is section formula giving you? Ratio is m/n is 1:2. Okay, this is what you have to remember here. What is the formula? It is mx2 plus nx1 by m plus n, comma. Since here 1 is, okay, just y2 plus n y1 divided by m plus n. This will give you, here you have m/n as 1:2. This is your x1, y1, x2, y2. Replace the values and find out what you are getting. So like this you will get the coordinate of P. This is bisection formula, you are finding out the coordinates of P because that is dividing it in the ratio 1:2. Okay, so P is, therefore P is 0,3. Now how will you find out Q? Actually Q is acting as a midpoint of the line segment PB. So you can use, this is more easy to use, that is the midpoint formula. Bisection formula, section formulas, again a particular case is your midpoint formula when the ratio becomes 1:1. So here the ratio is 1:1 for PB. So using the coordinate of P and B, you can find out the midpoint Q. Or else you can use section formula also by using the concept that Q is dividing AP in the ratio 2:1. That is the only change. Okay, so I think midpoint formula is more easy for this to calculate. So therefore by midpoint formula, Q will be, the coordinate of Q will be what? Midpoint formula is what? x1 plus x2 by 2, comma y1 plus y2 by 2. So here the x1 and y1 which you got is 0,3. P is 0,3. So you'll get 0 plus 8 by 3, comma, sorry, this will become 1 plus 1. In the denominator it will be in the ratio 1:1. So the ratio will be by 2 and the second coordinate will be 3 plus 7 by 2. So Q is 4, comma, here you will get 10 by 2 which is 5. So Q is 4, 5.